We're at the Genesis Drive event of the GV70 and it gets a refresh.
Can you spot the difference? That does not sound like the 2.5 liter four-cylinder.
It does not.
All right, so let's get into, I think you can guess. What's under the hood of this one, Andrea?
A 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 with an 8-speed automatic transmission, 375 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque. Standard all-wheel drive, and Genesis recommends premium fuel for this vehicle.
We're focusing on the gas model for this updated review. The base engine is a 2.5 liter turbo four-cylinder with 300 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. And yes, the EV version of the GV70 is still for sale. The 2.5 liter is kind of our favorite. We just think it's the best balance of power and performance, and has a lot of power in this class.
It does have a lot of power, and it's priced well. When you start looking at all the features it gets for the price, I think it's a more affordable option for many. But I have to say, when you kick this, wow, it goes. So I get the appeal of going for the 3.5T.
All right, so you led right into nicely, Andrea, all the features you do get on the base model GV70.
The base trim comes with a 27-inch OLED display with navigation, wireless, Apple Carplay and Android Auto, a wireless charger, leatherette upholstery, heated front seats, 12-way power driver's seat with lumbar support, 8-way power passenger seat, heated steering wheel, and a hands-free power liftgate. In the US, not all these features are standard.
So we pulled up at the airport yesterday and the GV70 greeted us, and you'd be hard-pressed to spot the differences. You'd have to be a real Genesis file to notice, but they have done some minor tweaks. You notice much more on the inside. On the outside, do you really notice much of a difference?
I don't notice a ton of differences, but they're there. It does get a new front fascia. They've changed the grille. There's a new pattern. The rear turn signals have also been updated. There's some new updates to driver assist technology, but it still looks like a GV70. It's sporty, it's athletic looking.
Yeah, and some new wheels as well. So you're going to
and
get
exhaust tips.
And exhaust tips around the back. Now, one of the reasons that they didn't change it too much, this is the best seller for Genesis. Roughly 35% of all Genesis models in the United States are GV70. Check this out. In Canada, we love this thing, eh? 57% of all Genesis sales are the GV70.
Those are great numbers for Genesis. This is their #1 seller. It is a big launch for them, even though it's just a refresh. So we've got the top trim, and it's the only trim that comes with the electronically controlled suspension with road preview, and also the electronic limited slip differential.
Okay, so we're going over bumps, concrete. We just went over a little bridge there. And what happens is, with this preview system, cameras look down the road and they go, wait, there's bumps coming. So it softens the suspension just in time, knowing the speed. It's quite clever technology, but it's only on this. However, the good news is, for all GV70s, they made an adjustment to the suspension. So the bushings are now liquid filled, and they have a chamber where the liquid can move from one side of the bushing to the other. It's just a sort of a passive damping system to give you less vibration and harshness into the cabin. All of them get that. This one gets the added adaptive suspension.
What impresses me the most about the GV70, particularly this model, is just how quiet it is. We've been on the highway, and you know, sometimes you get on the highway and that concrete pavement is so loud. This is going to make a great, not only daily driver, but an excellent road tripper.
A couple of things they're doing, some tricks. So if you get this top trim, or you get the one with the 21-inch wheels, the 21-inch wheels have inside the wheel a way for them to dissipate the vibration, so that reduces wheel noise. And there's an active system in the sound system. You know, the noise canceling headphones, pretty much a lot of them have that now, where they send out an equal and opposite wave. You're getting that through the stereo system. So all of that is working together. Plus the added insulation It's very quiet.
The driver assist technology for 2026 includes steering wheel hands-on detection, improved lane following assist, upgraded remote smart parking assist, and diagonal parking capabilities.
So I really believe this GV70 is a nice chameleon. It really does whatever you want it to be. Like we're cruising along now in the countryside, nice, smooth, and quiet, as Andrea mentioned. But you can really put it into the sportier performance modes, especially with the twin turbo V6, and you've got something that rivals what the Germans have. And you got to remember with this motor especially, if you were to get a BMW with an inline six, that would be an M. So it's expensive, but when you consider that, it's actually pretty good value.
And you know, a lot of viewers ask us, look, would you get the GV70? Would you get the Porsche Macan? Would you get the more powerful X3? And I think what Genesis does so well is that they offer a nice blend of performance, but also comfort level. So you never feel like you're being beaten up when you're driving this. And one of our neighbors actually just bought a GV80, and when she was cross-shopping other luxury brands, she found that there was a lot of value in the Genesis brand for her, and just the interior.
Well, you're kind of getting ahead of it here.
I am, but just beautiful materials being used. And she liked the warranty that Genesis offers, which we'll get into in our vital stats coming up.
Now you mentioned Macan there, Andrea. I've always claimed that I think the GV70 leaned into the Porsche Macan design, especially around the back. The one thing I do like about Genesis, and they use it throughout their whole line, so they don't really have a copy and paste for each vehicle, but they do when it comes to the light signature with the two parallel lines that go from the headlamps down the side to the rear. It's a clever and simple design that really makes it stand out as a Genesis.
And I like that they just made tweaks with this refresh. One of the engineers was speaking today, and he was saying, if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't really fix it, we just improved it.
They did, not us.
No. Genesis has added a new color for 2026, Ceres Blue, which we have on our test model. And the GV70 has 7.3 inches of ground clearance and comes standard with power folding exterior mirrors, LED headlamps, 19-inch wheels, and a temporary spare tire. If you go for the sport model, it gets some different features like a unique front and rear fascia, unique 21-inch wheels, large 3-dimensional air intake, 3-dimensional skid plate pattern, dark exterior accents, and a dynamic rear diffuser.
Now we're going to talk about where you're going to see the biggest changes. You might not be able to spot them on the outside. Granted, we do this for a living and we're having a hard time with that. But when you get inside, it's pretty obvious. You got the big screen. I'm going to say this right now, Andrea. This Genesis GV70 is the best in class interior.
Yeah.
I think it is. You look at all of the other brands in this class, they don't have an interior like this.
This is just beautiful. You've got a Napa leather interior in our test model. There's a 27-inch new and standard OLED display screen. They moved the wireless charger. People complained about it, so they put it in a more convenient location. Storage at the center console is quite good. It's not as deep, but good enough.
Well, they need to move that, right?
They need to move that, and there's just so many different trim pieces that you can choose from, or different color options depending on the trim.
So a lot of changes here at the center console. Now you would think this doesn't sound like a lot, but to people who own the car, it is a big deal. Better cup holders. We love our drinks, and I don't know if you know, we have a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. We love our drinks. So cup holders are good. And they found, and we complained about this from the word go with Genesis, the two rotary dials were too similar, and they changed it. They put this knurled finish around the gear selector now, so you don't confuse them.
And here's something that we complained about. That old-fashioned steering wheel is now gone. Good on you, Genesis, for listening.
I know in Korea they watch the videos and the reviews that journalists do around the world, and they listen and they change things, and that's a perfect example. The old man steering wheel is gone, and they've gone to a sportier look on all trims. The other change in the center console here, they've gone to a touch-sensitive screen for the HVAC controls. Love it or not, anyway, it looks nice and clean.
And all the buttons are there, your heated and ventilated seats. So, I mean, it's not like you have to go into the screen to use everything. It is all there for you. Genesis has also added a terrain mode to this model for different road conditions. And then also, just look at all this stitching, the orange stitching. We've got the blue Napa interior, and it's just so elegant
Orange
and
belts.
clean. Just all these different accents that you can get. Also, Genesis has moved away from the Lexicon stereo system. It's now a 16-speaker Bang and Olufsen system, and that is available. Other new updates for this model include enhanced voice recognition controls, improved over-the-air software capabilities, available digital key 2, and smart key has been extended to the second row.
So we have the top model. It's got all the available features, which include ventilated front seats, driver's seat memory, an ergo seat with 16-way power driver's seat with bolsters, passenger lumbar support, panoramic sunroof, surround view monitor, head-up display, blind spot monitor, 3-zone climate control, heated rear seats, rear sunshades, and remote smart park assist. So the GV70 battles in the compact space. So it's not the biggest, but actually the back seat is better than others. Here's me getting in. It's got not bad legroom, good headroom. How does it stack up?
Comparing the GV70 to the BMW X3, the Genesis has 41.3 inches of front row legroom, which is an inch more than the BMW. Second row legroom at 37.2 inches is just under an inch more than the BMW.
Lifting up the power liftgate and you can see a useful cargo space. What you can't really pick up on camera is the quality even of the carpet and materials in the back is excellent.
Cargo space behind the second row for the GV70 is 28.9 cubic feet and overall cargo space 56.8 cubic feet. Both areas are smaller than the X3.
All right, we're going to get into the fuel economy, the warranty, which is really quite good, and more in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then we'll move on to the US. The base model starts at $60,000 and the top Sport 3.5T is $84,000. In the US, the base model starts at just under $48,000 and the top trim is just over $70,000.
Here's the fuel economy for the base 2.5-liter turbo. 12 liters per 100 kilometers city, 8.9 on the highway. That's 20 miles per gallon city, 28 on the highway. For the 3.5-liter twin turbo, it's 13.1 liters per 100 kilometers city, 9.4 on the highway. That's 18 miles per gallon city, 25 on the highway. The towing capacity is 3,500 pounds, and the warranty is strong at 5 years, 100,000 kilometers or 60,000 miles. In Canada, complimentary maintenance is covered for 5 years. In the US, 3 years or 36,000 miles. Lightning round, two things we like to see improved.
The performance is terrific on this 3.5T.
I'm going to say it now because I forgot to mention it earlier. They don't have the seat controls on the door. They have it on the seat. Thank you, Genesis.
Yeah, we do like that. The only GV70 that gets the exhaust finishers is the top trim. All the others are hidden.
Hidden exhaust. And for me, this top V6 is the only V6 we get in Canada. You can't get this motor on different trims. You get this and that's it. Give us more options. All right, there it is. It's the updated 2026 Genesis GV70. What do you guys think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.